Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the No Tracers podcast. We're back with another guest this week, a Michigander, a Michiganian, a dude from Michigan. His name is John Burkey, and he has been exploring for about 9 years, almost 10 years. And he's coming up on that 10-year anniversary. I hope he's got something cool planned. But found him on Instagram, and I was like, yo, his shit is sick. I love, exploring Detroit. I think the history there is amazing. I think the architecture there is amazing as well. And so I was like, I got to get this guy on and hear some of his stories. And I tell you what, this is an amazing episode. So welcome to No Tracers. My name is Kay. I am your host on this podcast. Let's dive in. Welcome to the show. If you've been wondering what goes on behind the closed doors of abandoned places, if you want to know the stories of the people who explore the rot and decay, well, this is the podcast you've been looking for. I'd like to welcome you to No Tracers. So guys, as mentioned, this week on the podcast, I am joined by John Burkey. You can find him on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the same username. I'll put his links down in the description if you want to give him a follow. But if you want to support the No Tracers podcast further, you can do so by buying merchandise. I have 2 photography books all about urban exploring. One of them is actually a fun guidebook that I teamed up with an illustrator who goes by the name of Mr. Sketch. He's from Portugal, and his thing is illustrating over top of abandoned photos. So we teamed up to make a book together, and my other book is called No Tracers, an Urban Explorer's Diary, and it's basically my story of how I got into urban exploring. So if you're looking for a cool coffee table book, or if you want photo prints, or I got t-shirts and duffel bags and all kinds of cool shit up on the merch store at notracers.com/shop. On the website, you can also find my blog and links to all the video content that I post on YouTube as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. Trying to ramp it up, man. Trying to get some more guests on. So if you have some crazy stories and you want to come on the show, hit me up. No.tracers on Instagram. We'll get you on and share some of your stories with the audience here. But yeah, without further ado, John, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself and how long you've been exploring to the No Tracers audience.
I'm John Burkey. I've been exploring, I guess, in the URBEX realm for, going on 9 years now, since 2016.
Okay, so we kind of got into it around the same time. I love that. I think that was that's when I kind of got embedded in Los Angeles. I moved back to America. I kind of grew up overseas, and when I got to America, I was like, I got to go to LA. That's where I got to go to make it. They sold me the fucking dream, and I fell in pretty quick with the photography community there. And, the first meetup I went to, someone was like, oh yeah, abandoned buildings. And I was like, sorry, what? Tell me more about this. But for you, what got you into exploring? What was your first exploration like? And what kind of opened your eyes to this whole world?
Let's see, so I first got a camera in 2013, and then kind of didn't really get super into it until that 2016 point when I started seeing more and more people getting out downtown in Detroit, and that's kind of the area I'm from, just north of Detroit, in Michigan. But yeah, my first explore was in the abandoned zoo.
Oh, okay, word. For sure.
So I met up with a group of people just that I, randomly hit up in the DMs on Instagram, and they kind of invited me into their crew, and then we met up at a restaurant, and then went straight to the abandoned zoo. So I was kind of just thrown into that, I guess that nerve-wracking, adrenaline rush, and kind of went from there. It just kind of that really sparked it, meeting up with all those people and kind of learning more about my camera, let alone learning more about I didn't really call it URBEX or urban exploring. I guess back then it was just abandoned buildings, abandoned places. But I guess over the years it just kind of branched off into URBEX and urban exploring, or however they define it now.
Yeah, I think the umbrella is so big now for what it actually is. On this podcast I have rooftoppers and train hoppers and people that do tunnels and shit, so it's it's definitely expanded, but it's kind of all under this umbrella of like, exploring shit you're not really supposed to explore normally. But for you and being in Detroit and in Michigan, I mean, you guys obviously have a rich history of, you had the big car manufacturers out there, and after they all kind of fell under, a lot of the stuff out that way kind of also fell under and became abandoned and started decaying. And I mean, that's definitely lent that area to be a very like a hot spot for urban exploring. Do you have some like what were your super iconic spots that you hit back in the day when you first got into it that you were like, this is way cooler than just like an abandoned house or like whatever, because I mean, you guys have obviously St. Curvy is legendary out there.
Yeah. St. Curvy is definitely a legendary one. And when I first started out, that one was kind of sealed up, one of the more sealed up ones, harder to get into, and the rumors of the alarms and things like that. And my first visit inside of there specifically, you go off what you know or what you hear and the rumors and stuff, and people would tell you, oh, it's alarmed, watch out, they're motion sensors. We crawled through a little window and literally sat and walked the perimeter just so we wouldn't set off motion sensors. And then after our tiptoeing through it for 30 minutes or whatever it was in there, my friend walked out just to test it and see if the alarms went off, and the alarms didn't go off. So it's funny, it's like what you hear, the rumors, and I guess what happens to other people and whatnot, or whether somebody cut them or they stopped working, batteries died, who knows. But yeah, like I said, yeah, the first abandoned, I guess the coolest abandoned place that I went to was that abandoned zoo in Detroit, and that definitely is iconic. But that's patrolled by like the state police,
Right.
which so it kind of puts everyone else on a bigger edge, in comparison to just being like local police or something like that. But yeah, being in Detroit, definitely have a lot of the car manufacturer warehouses and whatnot. There's a lot of churches. I'm trying to think what else would top that list. But yeah, I always like churches, and lately right now it's abandoned schools.
Oh,
there's just
dude.
endless schools out here.
Bro. There's nothing kind of like more to me like exciting than getting into an abandoned school, because like I remember like I was in marching band growing up, and so we'd be at school after hours when like everyone was gone and it was like eerie and quiet, and you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be there. And like going into these abandoned schools, I get that same feeling all over again. Like, well, this is fucking weird without, hundreds of kids roaming the halls.
Oh yeah. No, it's crazy how many, like when I first started, I ran off a list that I found online, and there was just like I think it was like almost 100 schools on that list that were closed down in that year, and just kind of worked off that list, which was neat. It was just funny that some news station put it up online and posted it just for public access, and it's like, wow, you guys just gave me a whole list to start off with. So yeah, it was pretty neat. But yeah, it's cool because the schools have so much to photograph, let alone little details and stuff. But you got the pools, the auditoriums, the gyms, just classroom after classroom. And so yeah, it's definitely endless, and you can spend hours in a lot of those schools, and some of them you get lost in for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you get into like different kinds of schools. In St. Louis, there's like it's like a middle school naval academy. It's like a prerequisite into like the actual naval academy for like the youth, and they have like gun ranges and like uniforms still in the basement, and it's wild, dude. Like just the endless possibilities for schools. And like my favorite thing is seeing like the paint peeling off the lockers and shit like that. It's so sick to me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been to St. Louis, but only once for abandoned buildings. But I guess I can't say that I've been to that one.
Dude, it's sick. It's sick.
But it sounds dope.
There's like a big, like almost like Olympic sized pool in that place. It's massive, huge theater. It's just a wild find. And I had the opportunity to go with a couple friends when I was there last, and man, it's it's just so sick. Schools are crazy, and I live in Tennessee, so we have schools that have been like destroyed by tornadoes, so that adds like another element, because like the roof is coming off in like the science room, and so it's like
Oh
it's
wow.
just wild to see like nature like reclaiming like science rooms and classrooms and stuff. And I think that's like, for me personally, like what I love the most about urban exploring, and especially like abandoned places, is that nature will always find a way to prevail no matter how much we as humans throw our trash at it. I think that it will always like come back, and grass will regrow through the cracks in the concrete and stuff like that. But for you, like, what makes you keep going back to abandoned buildings? Like, what keeps drawing you to do this?
Ooh, I don't know. I guess like that's kind of what really super sparked my photography interests, and then from there I branched off and went on to different things over the years. But yeah, I just always seemed to kind of go back to that adrenaline rush.
Mm.
And it's obviously, yeah, it's like you're not supposed to be in there. It's taboo. It's this. It's yeah, so it just kind of, I guess, yeah, it gives you that little adrenaline rush, and I guess, yeah, it just sparks my what's that, imagination and
Yeah.
interest into it. But yeah, like you were saying, like the natural decay and stuff, like I love the natural decayed buildings in comparison to ones that are like most recently being trashed by
Mm-hmm.
people just throwing stuff, breaking glass and ruining the stained glass in the churches, or
Yeah.
the graffiti penises on the
Yeah,
wall,
bro.
or just little immature things over time that's definitely changed since I've started, because it definitely wasn't like that. It was just in Detroit, the winters are just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
To if a window opens, it's brutal in there, so it definitely destroys it and gives that natural decayed look. But yeah, so you can't beat it up here for natural decay, as long as no one gets in there and trashes the place,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I think with the I think honestly during COVID was when around the time I started this podcast, and that's when I kind of noticed a rise of like more of that stupid immature type graffiti vandal. I mean, that shit's been going on forever, but more so like that because of like things like TikTok. People were like breaking into buildings to film themselves just destroy shit, and it really put like a bad taste in my mouth, and I know kind of the community's mouth that's like really diehard for this shit. Like it just kind of was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You have no respect for like what we do as photographers and people that are there to like appreciate these places. Because I think for a lot of us, it's almost like going into a museum. Like we're there to like document and appreciate and show respect to these places.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just got chased out of a church the other day, and it was, the neighbor came out and just started yelling and freaking out, and chased us down, and we hopped in the car and took off, and then he followed us. So I pulled over trying to talk to him, and just to see what I guess we could discuss. And
Yeah.
he started recording, and I
Oh
recorded him
fuck.
back, and he's like, I got you, I got your license plate, you taggers. And then he sped off, and I'm just like, whoa, what? So like I was worried he's gonna call the police on my license plate, say I'm tagging up
Yeah.
buildings, and I so we pull around the corner, and then he's following me again. So then I pulled over, hopped out of my car. He came up, and then he said, if you're not tagging the place, then show me your bag. So showed him what's inside my bag, and just obviously just my camera gear,
Yeah.
and he saw no spray paint, and then he apologized. And it's like times like that, I wish I had had a GoPro on my head,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
so I could have got the whole
Yeah.
experience to like share that with people and be like, this is the stuff you go through. Like
Yep.
neighbors really hate on you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, we I met up with a group, Big Banks and Steve Ronan and a bunch of people. We met up and went kind of south towards like South Alabama, and for some reason somebody thought it was a good idea to go explore in the Bible Belt on a Sunday. I mean, everybody's at church and then they go straight home. Like everybody's at home on a Sunday in the Bible Belt. Not a good day for exploring, just for everyone listening, in case you were wondering. But we're trying to get into this house, and like part of the house is like caving in on itself, and it's like probably like late fall, so the leaves were like really like loud when you walked. They were like crunching under our feet, and there was no being like inconspicuous, right? So we finally like make our way like up onto the porch. Had to go through the woods and shit. Make our way up onto the porch. Take like one step to go inside, and from across the road we just hear, "Hey, y'all better get out of that house." And we're like, fuck, we put in all this effort, and we're like, this man is straight up gonna shoot us because we are in the South right now. So we had to dip out of there. But yeah, it's like those kind of moments. And I feel like for me, what you were talking about, like, I wish I had my GoPro on. That's me most of the time, because like I'm the one who always, like, the second something starts going wrong, I for some reason stop recording, because I'm like, okay, well, I can't, like, I don't want to, I don't know why. It's just like an instinct to like stop recording, pull the memory card out, hide the memory card, which is like my go-to when I'm about to get caught or about to like try to get out of a spot. Because like if you do get caught, you still want your footage, so you try to hide it, right? But if you keep rolling, like, that's when the crazy shit starts happening. And it's like, I wish I had so many of those moments captured, dude. I feel that for real.
No, yeah, I've definitely missed so many good moments,
Yeah.
that would be worthy of seeing. But yeah, like you're saying, like, yeah, people pull out your SD cards, and luckily I've never ran into that where I had to like delete my
Yeah.
photos from the building or something. If you got caught by the police or the owners, and they'll say, all right, just delete your SD card or something
Mm,
like that. And luckily never had to deal with that. But I've definitely had my fair share of run-ins with owners or police
sure.
or whatnot. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's always those moments of like, damn, I wish I had that on video. But and it's like, so I just had a guy yesterday on, and his episode comes out, tomorrow. But he does cranes in the UK. He's like an avid crane climber, and he films all his shit from like infiltration to escape, the
Oh
whole
wow.
the whole shit. And like his videos on YouTube, you're just like, oh my god, he just doesn't stop filming. It's like, it's amazing. But also I'm like, are you not worried? Like, they're gonna just make you like, they're gonna take your card or like whatever. And it's so different from like my mentality of like, hide everything, but he just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, if I get caught, I get caught. I'll just have to do another one, so it's like,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. See, I'm a little, I guess, out there, so I'm not as public with certain things, but
Yeah,
I'm public with my name on here,
sure.
so it's like I don't really hide as much as, but I'm not doing, I guess, as crazy things like that where
Yeah.
I'm, I guess posting break-ins and
Like
stuff like that because
infiltrations. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's breaking and entering. That's a
Yeah.
felony. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm not posting stuff like that on with
Right.
my face just plastered online on
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I got another profile, or several profiles on Instagram and YouTube. I'm a pretty public person. I do music and shit, so I'm like pretty like out there publicly, so I can't really hide even my voice. Like, I would have to literally change my voice if I wanted to like be anonymous on this page, but to me,
Yeah.
like, it's like not that deep. Like, I'm not vandalizing shit, I'm not tagging shit, I'm not breaking and entering. I'm pretty like uh respectful when it comes to like urban exploring, just because like I am like a public facing person, and I don't want to like, I don't want that to like come back and haunt me later. So I get what you're saying about like, not being a little cautious about what you're posting. And like the other thing is, like, for abandoned stuff, like, we don't necessarily want to share like how we got in and out of a spot, because
Oh, I
like
know.
you got to
Right.
kind of keep it safe, right?
Right. No, yeah, yeah. Lately, I've been seeing people, and I'll call them out if I see somebody. It's like, hey, like, you didn't have to post that door.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like they literally post the street address and the name of the place, and then them walking through the door, and it's like,
Like, we get it. You got in. We don't need to
yeah,
see how you got
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Like,
There's some crazy entrances, and you don't have to always share it with the
yeah.
public, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of crazy entrances, do you have a crazy entrance or escape story that you could share?
Ooh, let's see. Escapes. I've had I guess as close as I was on the other side of the door, and then the police were on obviously the outside of the door, but sometimes they're not going to come in.
Yeah,
So
because they don't know
I
what you got in there.
what they don't know who's
Yeah.
inside. They just get the call from the neighbors, and then they're not coming in. It's not worth risking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were able to escape out the other side, get to the car, and just take off. I've avoided. Trying to think, the most cops I've avoided was 7 cop cars
Sheesh.
pulled up to a church in Pittsburgh. And yeah, just like, because we were just hitting place after place. I'd say there's about 10 of us, so we were rolling way too deep
That's
that
so
day.
deep. That's so
Yeah,
deep.
way too
Oh
deep.
man.
But yeah, so after neighbors call the cops on you for one door, we're ripping off doors and stuff there, and then yeah, so they called the cops, and then we hurried up to the next place, and then by the time we got there, literally 7 cop cars pulled up to the next place because we saw, there's neighbors outside calling already. So it's like we literally just barely, my friend got out of the window and hopped in the car, and then we see the 7 cop cars pull up. But they
Wow.
didn't know what car we were in, so we just kind of slowly pulled away. But
Everyone act normal.
yeah, yeah, no, I know, yeah. It's like, they didn't know who they were calling on. Like,
Yeah.
luckily for that one, since we felt it was so hot, we sent one person in to make sure that, we could get in. So he crawled in through the window and he was going to open up the main door.
Mm.
And then, I just called him and said, hey, man, like, you got to come out right now because the neighbors are already calling the police. So then, yeah, by the time he got out and into the car, literally 7 cop cars pulled up. So
Wow.
that was definitely a near miss right there. But I'm trying
Damn.
to think any we're doing I don't know if you ever done the steel wool.
Yeah, I mean I haven't personally, but I have photographed it many times.
Yeah. So yeah, we did steel wool on it's called Lee Plaza,
Oh
and
yeah,
it
okay. Is that
it
that's like the hotel apartment building?
yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, with
it's
the pool and the fucking locker rooms and shit.
uh no,
Uh,
no, this one's like, yeah, apartment buildings, but it's got like I don't know, it's like 20, I think, yeah, I forget it, like 25 floors or something
Yeah,
like that.
there's
It's
like
got the triangle roof and
oh
things,
yeah,
but
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So
and the reason why
I
I
did
can,
that one. Yeah.
yeah, the reason I can say it now is because it's under construction and they're, rehabbing it.
Oh no
So
shit.
yeah. So
Wow.
that's something that changed. So yeah, it's all that one's done for sure.
Damn.
But yeah, so we're doing steel wool on the top and obviously in the middle of the night, and then someone must have seen us doing it because we were up there for a while,
Yeah.
and the fire department came, police come, they're yelling up on the loudspeaker, telling us to get down, and so we just stopped and just waited them out because it's like they're not coming in,
Yeah.
they don't know who's up there, so they so then by the time we literally went down there, they were gone. So
Yeah.
we another near miss, but
Yeah, when I did the Lee Plaza, it was snowing inside the lobby. And it was fucking sick.
oh, okay.
It's coming straight through, dude. It was so cool. And I literally talked about this yesterday. I was like, I love exploring in the winter because there's nothing cooler than snow coming through a roof in a bando. It's just the craziest shit. You're
Oh
inside, but
yeah.
you're outside. It's wild.
No, yeah, it's sick. Yeah, and it sucks to see it because I just passed by it again the other day, and
Mm,
so it's like it used to have the triangle roof, and there was like
yeah.
a metal roof, and now it's just gone. They gutted the roof and
Wow.
obviously ripped all that off, and who knows what they're gonna do. I'm assuming put obviously a new roof on there, but
Right.
but
Wow,
yeah,
that's
another
crazy.
one bites the dust.
As it goes, man, as it goes in this game, you gotta hit it or it's gonna be gone. That was me with Six Flags. I was like, I
Oh,
gotta fucking go to like that was like obviously the top of every Urban Explorer's list. It's like one or two spots, and then that fucking Six Flags, and I was like, I have to find a way, and I finally found a way in, and like got like full access. Drove my car through the park, like. Dude, it was
oh
insane.
wow.
It was insane. We lit up the Ferris wheel at night. Like it was a whole thing. So I just put out like a 4-part series about like exploring Six Flags New Orleans before they started the main demo, and now I think the Zephyr's probably completely gone. The big roller coaster there, I think it's totally gone now. So they're starting to really, really get the demolition going on that spot. And it's like, RIP to a literal icon. That spot
Yeah,
was.
I
Whew.
definitely put that off for so long, and I never hit that one, and it just was so far for me to do a
Yeah,
road trip just to
for
travel,
sure, bro.
and but yeah, definitely regret obviously not hitting that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy. So like the guy that got me in, he's like been like the resident park photographer. Of course, the place is abandoned, but the city like lets this guy go in, and he's been like landscaping and like doing all kinds of shit in the park to like kind of keep it maintained. And he brought us to like one of the warehouses, and he was like, "This is where all the fucking souvenirs are." And I was like, "What do you mean?" there's like, dude, there's like Fright Fest cups. There's like jackets still in the plastic wrap. Security hats. There's just shit everywhere in this warehouse. And I was like, oh my God, this, like, if you were trying to make a quick buck, you could just sell abandoned Six Flags hoodies on fucking eBay all day and just make bank.
Yeah, yeah. No, they had like the Pontiac Silverdome. It was up here,
Yeah.
and people were taking the seats,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so yeah, people took all the seats out,
That's
and
funny.
then you still hear people that have them today.
Oh.
They're like, "Hey, you want to buy it?" It's like, oh man, it's so yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for people not to grab something
Of
out of there,
course. Of
but
course.
especially once you hear it's gonna get demolished, I guess
Yeah.
it's fair game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. That, I mean, for me, that was Six Flags. I was like, well, I gotta take a cup. I'm gonna take a souvenir. I'm sorry, I can't not. I took two of the sweaters that literally say Six Flags New Orleans, but the font, like the letters are like just fucking rotting off the sweatshirt. But I was like,
ugh,
come on, man. Like, this is they're literally gonna bulldoze this and put it in a dumpster. It's
right.
gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's fair
so.
game.
Yeah, I say. And I know we all have our own rules, but I mean, sometimes those rules are meant to be broken. At the end of the day, this is an illegal activity, so say what you will.
Right. Oh no, I know. Right. Yeah. You're already breaking one law. I guess what's
Yeah,
another
we
one?
already let's just stack them up. So do you have any urban exploration injury stories?
Injuries. I've been pretty lucky. I guess I'm a magnet for nails. So
Oh,
like,
word.
that's probably my worst thing. Like I've had a nail, like, obviously it didn't go through my foot, luckily, but
Mm.
it punctured my foot. So after people telling me, "Oh, you're gonna have to get it amputated," and freaking me out, I went and got my tetanus shot
Oh
because
yeah.
you're supposed to get a what every 10 years
10
or
years,
something.
7 or
So
10 years, yeah.
yeah, yeah, something. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. I guess it's been 8 or something, and I'm like, I better go and just
Yeah.
get it. They're like, what's $30 to get a tetanus shot to be safe
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of amputating my foot? But
Yeah, no, that's super valid. That's very real. I
yeah,
definitely have a video or two of me walking through a place and being like, oh, a nail just went through my shoe. We're going to be okay. We're just going to back up slowly, pull my shoe off this nail.
oh my
Oh
god.
my God, dude. Uh,
Yeah, I'm notorious for wearing I wear like Vans or Converse or
yeah,
something,
yep.
and they're not. Yeah, people are like, you got to wear some boots or something, and
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
I can't climb like a fence in a boot, man.
no, no, I know. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I just rather be comfortable in my
Yeah.
everyday shoe. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely not the best to
It
explore in.
Yeah, I mean, I try to give tips and tricks to people. I got a whole guidebook on how to explore, but it's like at the end of the day, you're going to do what you're going to do the way you're going to do it. And like, you might fall through a floor. You might fall through a pool cover like my friend did. It's just shit happens. These places are unsafe and there's just shit all over the floors. It's dark. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where you're stepping. It's just, you're kind of bound to run into either a nail or a human, at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
Speaking of which,
definitely.
I saw you ran into a homeless guy at St. Curvy. Can you tell me about that story?
Oh yeah, yeah. So he greeted us at the door. So we walked up. We're all excited to go in. My friends came in from out of state, just kind of taking them on the classics tour,
Sure.
and literally he opened the door as we walked up, and it was like he was prepared for someone to come up. And I'm, as a super helpful guy, I usually have quite a bit of things that I keep. I keep cat food or dog food or even food for homeless people. And the first thing he asks is, can you spare any money? And then so we all pitched in, gave him a couple bucks a piece, and
Mm.
and then he's like, I spent the night here. I'm so cold. Can you take me down to the theater, because that's where he says he can warm up or something like that.
Mm.
So I'm like, oh, I gotta help this guy. So I told my friends, I'm like, guys, we gotta help this man. I'm like, gotta help him. So I checked in my back of my car, and I had pants and shoes and a jacket and all this stuff, and I gave him what I had. And he obviously accepted all of it. We
Yeah.
gave him a ride. To the Fisher Theater, and saw him on his way. He popped that
Wow.
door open and went inside. But yeah, I think his story was he lost his social security
Mm.
and he's 60 years old, something, something. I'm not sure how you lose your social security. I didn't
Yeah.
go into too much detail with him and question him about it. But I guess come to find out, after posting my thing, people been seeing him there for like the past month. So I guess
Damn.
he's been kind of hanging out there for a while. So people had said they gave him money, they gave him a tent to sleep in, or
Wow.
some people said he was tweaking, or
Sure.
it's hard to say. I'm not gonna say that it's not possible that he does drugs, but
Right.
he seemed like a really nice guy, and just the way I am with things, I'm always trying to help people out, and
Mm.
definitely feel bad regardless if he's whether or not he's doing drugs. You got to be at some kind of low in your life to
Yeah.
spend the night in some abandoned, smelly church,
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely just had to help him out. And but yeah, I went back. Shoot, I think it was only a few days later, and he wasn't there. I went
Mm.
back to go see if he was still there, but haven't seen him since. And I don't know if anyone else has seen him since. But
Yeah, man, it's always interesting, the run-ins with people that are kind of living or passing through these places. It can either go, a couple ways: super violent, angry, or very accommodating. I've had people ask if we need a place to stay that night, like in the building. They're like, "Hi, we live here. Do you need a room?" It's like, I'm all set, but thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just taking photos. I'll be on my way. But yeah, I mean, the characters that you do meet in this hobby, both the ones that live in these buildings and the ones that take photos of these buildings. There's quite a few interesting characters, both in the URBEX community and otherwise.
yeah, I've been fortunate enough, not to run into, I guess, too bad of people,
Yeah.
but I've had my share of. I've walked into a building and then 2 seconds later, another guy hops in, comes in, and then he says, "Them dogs in here," and
Get
then
the
I'm like, "What?" And then he walks down the hall, grabs two giant pit bulls on leash, and
oh,
then he takes them out. And then I was like, "What the hell was that?" So yeah, so
am I right?
it's some of those places that you don't know if they're using it for storage for
Right.
drugs or certain things. I went into a school a couple weeks ago, and you could see burner phones, and
Mm.
they had a bunch of cut down trimmed weed plants. It's just obviously, I don't know if there's no way that they grew the weed in there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they must have just used it to cut and trim it up, and then
Wow.
just dispose of all the guts or whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, they just left nothing but sticks and stems, and but yeah, you never know who you're gonna run into. That's why, like, when you're bringing up houses, like up
I
here.
hate houses, dude. I do not fuck with houses.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So
That
it's like
shit freaks me out.
I love a lot of the houses that I see people post and things
Sure.
like those it's what's it what do they call those where they time stand still, like
Oh,
it's
time capsules.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. So like time capsule house, and it's just like they're not up here, at least that I'm finding, because
not
like
in
it's
not in Detroit, brother.
yeah, it's like people are living in them.
Yeah.
If it's livable or halfway close to it,
Yep.
people are in there squatting, and it's
Yep.
just like I'm not risking going in there. Like,
Fuck no.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I definitely don't hit enough houses. Which bums me out because some of the photos I see that other people get are just beautiful.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, not up here.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the same in the South as well. Like where I'm at, like somebody's probably living in that house. Like I don't know. I just don't. I stay away from houses because of it. I've been in a couple like bigger like mansion type places, which are of course like different, but like the smaller houses, I do not fuck with that. I'm not
Right.
about to go in there because somebody probably is in there. They probably got a gun and they're probably gonna shoot me. I'm not about to die for a bando.
No, I know. Yeah. That's definitely a risk that you can take for
Hmm.
sure going into any of them. But
Definitely. Has anything ever made you want to stop exploring? Like any experience where you're like, yo, I gotta fucking take a second.
I took a brief break. What's it? I was shooting a school with some friends, and we obviously overstayed our welcome. And
Mm.
by the time I was walking out, security, I guess, found my car because
Mm.
I have the tendency to just kind of park front row. And so the tow truck was going to tow my car, and I had to pay what's it, $320 cash to
To have them
get it.
drop it.
Yeah, to have him
Oh,
drop it,
such a
and
con. Fuck that.
yeah, it was messed up. I was so mad, and then after that, for a little while, I honestly just like stopped shooting because I was just thinking of it as like I went in there, I took some photos, and I didn't make any money. I lost money, so I
Yeah.
was just so upset and like so it's like I started to think I guess a little more smart and just was like if I'm going in here I'm being fast. I'm not sitting around waiting for people to take their bracketed photos on a tripod and get the right exposure. And so I'm more hit and run. I get in, I take my
Mm.
shots, take the bangers and get the photos quick, and then I get out because I didn't know that security, they said, "Oh, you didn't hear us yelling for you." It's like, no, dude, I would have left. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
hung out and let you guys get my
You
car on a
you
tow
think
truck.
I want to just give you $300
Yeah.
casually, bro?
Yeah, I was at the will because it was like, yeah, well, we can call the police, or you can,
Right.
it's just like it was a scam.
Ugh.
Like they probably did it to so many
Oh,
people.
for sure.
But yeah, I just kind of was at the will of them. It was either I
Yeah.
pay the money or I'm gonna have to deal with cops, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, you guys win this time. But I was pissed. So yeah, it definitely took a little bit of a break, but
Sure.
other than that, like yeah, like I said, I've been fortunate enough, knock on some wood, that I haven't had any too crazy of run-ins. I've always kind of got away, and so yeah, it didn't scare me off just yet. So hopefully I can make it to my 10-year anniversary of
Let's
Bandos
go.
and keep it going.
Let's go. Let's go. And where do you draw the line on risk? Like, is there like anything you won't do? Like, are you like against like rooftops, or like is there anything that you're just like, I'm not, there's a line, I'm not crossing that line. This is where I stand.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, like I said, the whole breaking and entering
Yeah.
felony. After a while, I kind of toned it down. Like, I haven't done a true city rooftop. It's probably been a few years. The time flies, but yeah, there was a point in time where kind of ran with the crew and people were going and it was the thing to do. But then all of a sudden it started to get, it was like all the hot spots got cameras and
Mm-hmm.
it's got the security that was already there anyways. So it's just like it just became too hot. It's like when I first started, it didn't have a camera at the spot. So regardless if you pop the door open, you could, it's not like you're getting caught on film. But it's like
Yeah.
now like I said, I keep my face up online. I'm not publicly posting stuff like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely would draw the line, I guess, unfortunately, at felonies. I
Sure.
don't really want to get busted and then I can go to jail over it. But
Yeah.
I do miss the rooftop, like the rush of finding that way to get up there and
Yeah.
climbing around the staircase and going here. It's because I remember like, one specifically, it was like you go up 3 flights on the elevator and then you got to cross over and climb over the staircase and then you got to run up 20 flights of stairs and then go up the next elevator. And it was just like it's like a damn maze.
Yeah.
And luckily it's like some people find that out before you and then you get that inside scoop, so it goes a lot faster. But like if you have to find out on your own, it's, oh my gosh,
And it
it's
feels like you're in there forever. You're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
no, yeah, by the time you get up to the roof, it's like, yeah, like you got to shoot and run.
Yep.
But then you're up there and it's just like the views are phenomenal. And
Yeah.
if you're able to see like a sixth sunset, you got the sun setting behind all the buildings
Mm.
and oh man, yeah, it's crazy up there. But yeah, like I said, yeah, felonies not cool. The older I get, the less it sounds cool.
The bigger the
And they
consequences are.
yeah, yeah, because it's like I got a life to live, and I got to
Yep.
wake up and be free the next day, and
Yep.
too many people get busted for that, and the photos are cool. I'm jealous of those people that do it more often than I, but yeah, I don't just that risk, but I guess some people I forget, we don't have to say names, but it's like what's it? They hit some stuff and then they get busted on the news and then
Yep.
they go to jail and then they're like famous. And it's just like, wait, what? Hold on. Like, so does that work that way? Because I don't think
Yeah.
it works for everyone.
True. True.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, definitely no more rooftopping in my
Sure.
in my life. I'll stick to trespassing because because that's like a misdemeanor.
Slap on the wrist kind of thing.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Most of them will let you go, or
For
else
sure.
you hear it's like a $500 ticket.
Yeah.
I'll suck it up, I guess,
Yeah,
and take
definitely.
that.
Definitely. So oftentimes when we're in these buildings, they're not the cleanest, and I started having guests on the show ask future guest questions. So Hysterical Panic, his question is, what is something you've touched while exploring that you regret touching?
Oh wow. I think just in general, like I don't know if it's like I say I regret, but just not wearing a mask. It's
Yeah.
like I've been asked so many times. It's like, what kind of mask do you wear in those buildings? And it's like I don't wear one, and it's like but gonna end up finding out in years to come that I breathed in enough asbestos or mold or
Yep.
something like that. That like yeah, it's. I'm trying to think like, yeah, what did I touch? I didn't fall into any nasty still water or I touch any mold that I can think of. It's like, yeah. So I don't think I've touched anything with my bare hands besides. I'm sure I've touched mold. I'm sure
Sure.
I've touched some stuff because I barely wear gloves. I don't
Sure.
wear the mask. I don't. Definitely not as protected as I probably should be.
It
But
is what it is. It's all good. I joke about it, but I think one day there will be an ad on TV and it'll be like, did you explore abandoned places as a kid? You may be liable for compensation.
no,
Because
I
now
know.
you have 8 types of cancer.
Right. Well, because we're exploring all these buildings that
Yeah.
have been proven for those people, like
Exactly.
that have asbestos and that have that black mold, and it's
Yeah.
just like here we are running through the same building that says "Stay out, it's contaminated," and we're all running through it, kicking up dust
Yep.
and
Uh,
breathing it in. So
yeah.
yeah, we're screwed.
Yeah.
But
And at the end of that ad, it'll be like, well, you chose to go in that building, so go fuck yourself.
oh yeah,
Enjoy your cancer.
no, exactly. That's what's gonna suck. Like
Yep.
right now I'm not regretting it because I haven't had complications
Sure.
that I know of. But yeah, a couple more years down the road of breathing this shit in, like I'm screwed.
I'm saying. Exploring with Nomad wants to know, do you have any good luck charms? Like, is there something that you always have with you when you're exploring?
Oh, do I have any good luck? I don't. I don't think I do. Trying to think. I'm pretty simple. Like for the most part, I don't even carry my camera bag anymore unless I'm like
Damn, it's like that?
yeah,
Wow.
just running with with my camera in my hand. Like I guess in the wintertime lately I've been trying to like protect my camera more.
Sure.
And like keeping it out of the elements, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't have any good luck charms. I just have my camera in hand. I wear my wrist strap, so I've probably
There you
had the
go.
same wrist strap. So yeah, we'll say that that's my good luck charm.
Yeah.
Pretend, but yeah, just have the handy dandy wrist strap so it doesn't fall out of my hand
That's the
and
way.
drop my camera because that sucks when you drop your camera
Oh, nothing
and
worse.
yeah, just thousands of dollars just down the drain.
Down the drain. What do you hope for the future of urban exploring?
What do I hope for the future? Hmm. I hope it just continues, but I've always said, it's that quote of, as one dies, another one
Mm.
grows. So it's as they close up one, you get sad, you're kind of upset that you can't hit that one anymore, but there's another one that's popping up right
Yeah.
after it. It's someone's going into foreclosure, someone's getting ready to close down, something's happening, something illegal happened that shuts them down or just something. So yeah, it's just when one door closes, the next door opens. So I'm what's that, optimistic.
Yes.
So it's like yeah, I'm definitely optimistic that yeah, I feel like it's not gonna stop,
Yeah.
but the only thing that scares me is more and more, like I said, cameras.
Yeah.
So more and more cameras at the corners, and they're getting better with that. So they're
Mm.
literally like here, I don't know if you have them by you, but I forget what they're called. They just literally have like pod stations that have cameras on it.
Oh, with like the blue light ones, the
Yes,
blinky
yes,
ones.
yeah.
So
Police.
I
Yeah.
found out that those are actually like for human trafficking. They're like to like catch people taking people. They're like
Okay.
literally there to like stop human trafficking, but they're surveilling everything. Like let's be honest. But that's
Right.
their like motive behind those pods is like to like thwart human traffickers. But I mean, they're trying to make a fucking surveillance state here. I mean, come on.
No, I know. Yeah. So that's the only thing that scares me is it's
Yeah.
just easier to get caught more
Yep.
and more, whether it's those cameras or, owners, it's not that expensive to pop
Yeah.
up,
A Ring
especially a lot of
camera.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I know it's like $30 and a
Yep.
lot of them that do have power, they plug it in and it's there,
Yep.
and you're going to get caught and you don't even know it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the only downside of this day and age. Like, what's that? Technology is getting more and more advanced, and then, yeah, it's gonna get harder to get in there.
Absolutely. So knowing what you know about like being stealthy and quick and evasive, how long do you think realistically you would survive in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh my gosh, I've watched a lot of zombie movies and shows. I don't know. I feel like I would do decent, but honestly, yeah, watching a lot of those movies, The Walking Dead and
Yeah.
things like that, like, man, they just die so fast.
I know I'd probably be dead like first day, honestly. Like I think I got shit together, but like honestly, like my neighbor is just gonna kill me. Like not even a zombie. Like my fucking neighbor is gonna come over the fence and just blast me away, and that'll be it.
I know. Sometimes I'm just too trusting. So it's like I
Yep.
said, I took that homeless guy
Yeah, that guy could have
within,
eaten your face, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. Within like 5 minutes, and my friends are like, I don't know if I would have took him. It's like, dude, I can't help but not help this guy. So it's like I'm like, what is he gonna do to us? And so yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm too trusting, so I don't know if I would make it. Like I just trust people too much and think with my heart, not my brain or something.
You're dead,
like,
dead.
Yeah,
Straight out
dead.
the gate, dead.
No, I'm dead. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to say I'd live because I want to live, but maybe I would die soon. Damn it.
You bring cat and dog food, you're dead, bro. You're too kind.
Well, there
Fuck
you go.
them
Because,
cats.
yeah, I'd probably attract all the zombie cats and dogs.
Yeah.
So I'd be even more dead because you
So
cannot outrun a dog. So
No.
yeah, I don't know. Oh.
Oh my God. It's one of my favorite questions and just the most random shit. But I love asking that question.
No, that was a good one. But yeah, like I guess at first I was like, hell yeah, I'd live it out. But then like the more you think about it, it's like I'm dying.
You're
That
dead.
sucks.
We're dead.
I hope I never get to that point where I gotta outrun some zombies.
Facts. I also hope that. I would rather go to space than outrun zombies any day. Come on now. All right. So my last question for you is, what is something you know now that you wish you knew when you started exploring?
Ooh. Oh man. I don't know. That's you trying to think. I don't know if I have an answer. If I know. Oh. Yeah, I guess I'll go back to my thing of I just wish I knew to be faster. So, to listen to people's advice on don't overstay your welcome in any abandoned building. It's just for the running the risk of getting caught. And luckily I haven't gotten, like I said, caught to any bad extent, but just not overstaying my welcome in those places and getting the hell out. Get my photos. What's that? Leave only footsteps, no whatever, something.
Leave no trace, baby. That's the motto
no
of the
there
show.
you
Let's
go.
go.
No tracers, baby.
That's
yeah,
right.
So yeah. Get in there. No face, no case, no trace.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Cool. Well, hey, John, thank you for coming on the show. If people want to keep following your journey, let them know where they can find you online. If you have any like photo books or anything you sell, let everybody know where they can get them or how to support you further.
Oh yeah, it's just I basically have like almost every social media, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I post kind of a variety of things, but it's just at John Burkey, JONBURKEY.
I love that John kind of added in the leave no trace in there without having to like be prompted to say it. It's so sick when that like naturally rolls off people's tongues and they're like, obviously leave no trace. Like that's the motto of the show, man. That's it. That's what we stand by. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the No Tracers podcast. Like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to ramp these up a little bit more, trying to get you guys some more cool guests on the pod. It's been a while since I did outreach, so I'm starting to do that outreach again on Instagram. So definitely looking for some cool cats. If you guys have any recommendations or suggestions for people that you would like me to interview on the show, send them my way. You can message me their profile on Instagram or just tell me who they are and I will go find them. There are some heavy hitters that I've been trying to get on for a few years that I'm going to hit up again and see if they're about it, see if they're down to come on. And let me know what you guys thought. You can now leave comments on Spotify, which is sick. If you are listening on Spotify, if you're on YouTube, obviously you can leave comments down in the section where comments are available. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Please leave a rating. It really helps the podcast grow, helps us find a broader audience of amazing listeners just like you. But yeah, until next time, guys, my name is Kay. I am known as No Tracers. I'll see you guys on social media somewhere. Enjoy another episode or 7 or whatever. I know a lot of people listen to this show while they're headed to a bando. So let me know what you're headed to, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Stay strong, keep enduring, go out, go explore something, and remember, leave no trace.